One percenters, welcome back. Coach Tommy here. Hoops Tank. JJ Reddick judges the best and worst ideas on how to improve the NBA. I think this came out 3 weeks ago. I'm finally getting around to it. If you guys have any ideas of what videos I should watch and react to, message them to me, comment them, and I'll hopefully get around to them. So let's see.
Welcome to Hoops Tank.
Big fan of Shark Tank, Dragon's Den.
Your pitches on how to improve the NBA. But first, let's meet the shark. JJ
They call me Mr. Wonderful.
NBA veteran turned professional podcaster.
I wanted the lobster. You gave me the crab.
He's never invested in anything other than his strong love of Derek White. This is Hoops Tank.
Derek White. Yeah, he's a
Eric
solid player.
2 says, adopt hockey-style subbing where players can come in and out during live game action.
Ooh, we actually do that in practice to keep our guys in shape and always on their toes. So anytime the ball is moving the other direction, anytime in a change of possession, so a missed rebound or inbound, you don't got to stop. You just run in. So I actually do that in practice. Would that be more exciting to happen in a game? No, because commentators, everybody would not be able to keep up with it.
Interesting pitch. Very interesting. I'm imagining live ball turnovers. I'm imagining players running into each other. I'm imagining a mass level of confusion. Adam, this is a terrible idea. And for that reason, I'm out.
In practice and training and stuff, there's not actually that much confusion once you actually teach the players and they know what to do. You have different color jerseys. They run in and out. And when somebody appears in, you got to learn how to communicate on defense. So that's actually what we practice. For TV entertainment, probably terrible idea.
AB Hoop Roundup says, expand the charge circle and don't allow charges under airborne players. Clarify criteria for technical fouls. Show substitutions on the broadcast. Bring back All-Star Draft, but have it 2 weeks before, and don't separate starters and reserves, or have All-Star winner get home court.
That's a lot of rules. Expand charge circle. Sure, you could expand it if you want. It wouldn't really make a difference. People don't want charges. So people will just either get out of the way. The game happens way too fast, and you don't even know what the heck a charge is nowadays anyways. You can slide in, you can lean back. You get the line is not really the point. Don't allow charges under airborne players. So this is the same thing. So if you move it out further, they're going to step out further. The guys are going to take off a little further. They're going to be higher in the air. There's just the circle and the charge. You could either get rid of the charge entirely, but people don't want that. You want people to take charges. Clarify criteria for technical fouls. Yeah, that'll never happen because all fouls are subjective. Technical, flagrants, they're all subjective. They change with the times. Show substitutions on broadcast. I'm pretty sure they do. Why would you care whether a player walks in, sits at the table, and kneels on the floor? Bring back All-Star Draft. Have it 2 weeks before, and don't separate starters and reserves. Nobody cares about the All-Star Draft. It's easier to just keep it East and West, or have All-Star winner. You could just have the fans vote for the All-Stars if it's really about the fans, or you can eliminate the fans entirely and have just the players pick. The way they try to do it right now, you're trying to please everybody, and you ain't going to please everybody. So if the fans, they vote in freaking Lonzo Ball and Jeremy Lin and Yao Ming, let them watch who they want to watch. Nobody really wants to watch players they don't want to watch. Why would you want to watch I don't know, man. Who's the most boringest player in the NBA? I don't know.
Finals. Wow. A lot of products you just pitched there, AB Hoop Roundup. But that first product, that's your hero item. One thing to note, it is dangerous for players to try and draw a charge on an airborne player. I recognize that. I think it's an easy fix. I think what you suggested and what you pitched here is the answer. Expand the restricted area. Make it 5 feet. I mean, how many players in the half court are taking off just inside the foul line? It would eliminate a lot of these freaky plays that we saw, particularly last year in the playoffs where Giannis gets hurt. The idea, maybe Hoop Roundup and all you people that send in these pitches around airborne players and not being able to take charges on them. You are also the people that are complaining about the defensive rules. Are you trying to completely handicap the defense? Yes, we should be able to take charges. If you are in a spot and an offensive player runs over you, it should be a charge. You can't have it both ways. You can't say we got to eliminate the charge and
thank you,
there's
JJ
no
Redick.
and there's no defensive rules. The charge is there to protect the defense. Now, if we expand the restricted area, we also protect the offensive player from any potential injury. I like this pitch, and I'd like to buy a 25% stake in it at $500K.
That's weak.
Game Total Plat Pro release dissolves and lives
Oh, there's already no defense.
Designed West Gum Harmon Black.
Guys are already too good. You got to start giving points for
Am I early?
defense. Like I said before, give a point for a rebound, give a point for a steal, and then you will see
The Phoenix
defense pick
Suns
up.
2 outdoor regular season games.
That's so stupid.
Wind, rain,
That is so stupid. People like basketball because they don't want to be outside. Second of all, Phoenix is 114 degrees.
snow,
People are gonna
ice,
die.
desert heat. Like, what are we talking about here? We always talk about buy-in from players. It's not happening. Anybody that grew up playing outdoor basketball knows you are one wind gust away from the most memeable, gifable moment of your NBA career. No chance this is happening. For that reason, I'm out.
I like the PhoenixSuns.com, not the NBA team.
Jigga41 Agger writes.
Jigga.
Oh, wait a minute. That's Jason Gallagher. Jason Gallagher writes, Player of the Week and Player of the Month awards should count towards end of season awards. Player of the Week is 0.25 votes, and Player of the Month is 0.5 votes. Something like that. Not a particularly well-articulated pitch, Jason. I do like the idea of the Player of the Week and the Player of the Month awards actually meaning something when it gets to the end of the regular season. I like the idea, actually, of them counting maybe towards All-NBA, or in the case of Rookie of the Year. You win 4 months of Rookie of the Month, you're pretty much guaranteed to win Rookie of the Year. I like this pitch. I do. The math seems a little wonky. It seems like you're very much in the infancy of this pitch. I'm willing to give you $500 for 10% of the company at a $5,000 valuation, but that's all I'm willing to risk on this.
$500.
Basketball.
It's always better to make things objective as possible. So if you, let's say you rank all the players who's got the most points per game, you can give them 10 points, top 10 in reverse order. So if you're second, you get 9. If you're third, you get 8. And then you can rank them. You could say this is the criteria for MVP. We're ranking based off of points, steals, assists, blocks, win shares, team ranking, schedule ranking, and stuff like that. You can make it very, very clearly define the criteria for MVP, but you know what? It's never going to happen because they have to build a whole narrative around it. And if you want to turn basketball into baseball, where there's a stat for everything, exit velocity, RBI, pitch count, days rest, like all these things, you could turn it into baseball. But I think the NBA, they try to build narratives around who's the MVP and where he came from and the story and all this stuff. So the more objective they make it, the less story you can build around it, because by the end of the season, someone might be a clear favorite, and that's just boring to watch.
Writes in, abolish the rim hanging text. Couldn't agree more. 100%. I'm all in.
I'm all in on that too.
Impactful.
Let me slap the backboard like Kenyon Martin or Kobe.
This probably only happens once every 2 or 3 weeks.
No, Kenyon Martin.
So for that reason,
Shaq.
I'm only willing to give you $20.
Legs up. No, that's crazy.
Designs writes, get rid of dribbling. The artistry of Kyrie Irving and Steph Curry.
Dribbling is very, very fun to watch. It's not necessary. So a crazy coach can actually get rid of it by himself without changing the rules, because dribbling is not necessary in basketball. Sell this. It's dumb.
I get movement and I get passing and all of that. Let the best players be artists. I'm out. Vato NBA.
Vato.
Should the NBA create a best role player of the year award? It's a great question.
Isn't that a sixth man of the year?
Pitches here, because again, it was your pitch to me. Every player in the NBA is a role player. The roles are just different. In every single sport outside of basketball, there's no role players. You're a pitcher, you're a second baseman, you're a tight end, you're an offensive lineman, you're a halfback, you're a fullback, you're a midfielder, you're a defender, you're a goalie. Everything is so specialized in nearly every other sport. Basketball is the one sport where we talk about role players, but everybody has a role. But I know what you're getting at here. I would like to take a 51% stake in this pitch.
Let's give everybody an award.
In exchange for 51% of the company, I would like creative control.
But everybody is a role player.
For the rest of time, I would like to call this award the Derek White Award.
The more clearly defined the roles, the more clearly defined the roles. Like I said with the Nuggets, the more clearly define the roles, the better the execution will be. If everybody's just winging it all the time, you're going to get a wild all-star looking game. And when it comes down to actual execution and clutch and defense and stuff like that, you won't be able to execute if you're just winging it on every play. You got to be able to execute. Everybody has to know where they stand, when they got to go, what they got to do. They need to know all that.
Out at 6 fouls, it goes up to 7. So if you have 5 fouls going into overtime, you don't have to worry about fouling out the next foul. I can get behind this. I don't think this is a revolutionary pitch. This seems very reasonable to me. I think the valuation on this is particularly high. I'd be willing to give you $30,000 at a 30% stake.
An extra foul.
One of these people.
An extra foul, what does that do if it goes into overtime? Sure, why not? I mean, it doesn't really have an impact. You can just shorten the game and say we're going to have a tie or next bucket wins. Like, make that more exciting. Who cares about an extra foul?
Remove defensive 3 seconds rule. Big guys should be able to stay in the paint and protect the basket. As Luka said, scoring in the EuroLeague is harder than the NBA, and this is one of the reasons the best players in the world should have to deal with it. I am a fan of this pitch. I would take it a step further. We need to make all the rules around basketball universal. We need to have the same rules around the gather step. We need to have the same rules around defensive 3 seconds, the size of the paint, the three-point line, at all levels. The reason there's defensive 3 seconds is because prior to that, there was illegal defense. And the reason there was illegal defense is because
dudes were parking.
Spacing sucked. Now that we have spacing, now that we have shooting at nearly every position, I agree with you. I don't think we need the defensive 3 second rule. I think they should eliminate that. I'm 100% on board with this pitch. $450,000. And the reason is, this would be a rule that favors the defense.
If you change that rule, you don't have to switch all the bigs all the time. You can leave your more agile guys on the outside, and you can leave your big guy just roam in the middle. That big guy will probably get into foul trouble because they'll still attack the rim like crazy. So you'll need some more big guys.
James, 82.
But why did we want defense? I thought offense was everything, right? So until the rules change, the enforcement of the rules change, who cares about defense?
Instead of the NBA draft lottery, teams not in the playoffs compete in a reverse gauntlet tournament to decide the draft order. 14 versus 13. Winner plays 12. Winner of that plays 11, etc. Logistical nightmare, but I like the idea of creating a competition around the top picks in the draft. This actually would be an interesting way to help out the teams in the middle. Of course, the bad teams would continue to be bad because they likely wouldn't win these games, and they would get stuck with 2, 3, 4, etc. I like this a lot. This is still in its infancy. I like creating competition around the number 1 seed. I'm willing to give you $1,600 at a 10% stake.
I think that's super weird. I think if you want to make the bottom feeders play better, I think the soccer has like relegation or something like that where you kick out the bottom team. You always got to cut the fat off the bottom. So cut out the bottom 2 teams and then have Las Vegas and Seattle ready to jump on in. And if you get knocked out for a year, I mean, 2 teams have a chance to get back into it the next year. You're just out for a whole year. Imagine how much that would suck.
D Hunt or CO the Hunt. Shots from beyond half court only count as a field goal attempt if they go in, kind of like shots when the player's fouled. I'm tired of players purposely releasing shots after the quarter buzzers to save their field goal percentage. You know who else is tired of players releasing shots?
This is so petty. Who cares?
The buzzer to save their field goal percentage. Chris Paul. Really like this idea. I think this should have been adopted.
Did this fool just
years
throw a
ago.
shot at Chris Paul?
Incentivize players to chuck it. First of all, if it
How
goes
about we
in,
give him 4
fans
points
love
beyond
it.
half court?
The team needs it. I'm buying this pitch. I like this pitch.
Stupid.
50% stake. We want to be partners with you on this. $72,000.
Half court line. Make it a 4-point line. How about that?
Red Mag 77. Have a whole Euro week when basically all the NBA moves to Europe to play games, 15 cities, 15 games at the same time. They can do the same with other continents too. I like this pitch. I like this product. We should be thinking about ways. I mean, logistically, I'm talking myself out of it now. We've just added the in-season tournament. How are we going to take the entire NBA overseas for 15 games, and then we're going to, let's say we did it in Europe, and it was a success. All right, well, let's say you want to go to Africa. All right, that's like an extra 10 hours of flight time. Let's say you want to go to Asia.
Plus logistics for all the teams and the hotels. And
do you want the NBA season to be year-round? For that reason,
that's a terrible idea.
Ben 10 MVP says 4 words, JJ. Naked wrestling at halftime. Maybe teams can have their own wrestlers and their own wrestling seating in finals, etc. For instance, I could be the Nets wrestler just to start off the new change.
We'll say naked wrestling.
Or interest in wrestling, but I believe males only. This was a bad idea. Thanks for all your hoop pitches. Until next time, it's this guy, JJ Reddick.
Pause. Is that what they say nowadays? Pause. Yeah. Incentivize defense if you want to pick up defense. Point for rebound, point for steals, point for blocks. Imagine what that would do for defense. Who cares about charges? Who cares about blocks? And all that stuff. So give defense points. Period. Until then, who cares about defense? Play offense, score more, put a 4-point line at half court, beyond freaking 3/4 court. Make it 5 points. So then games can get really interesting down the end. Until next time, take 14 minutes, 24 seconds, or 1% of your day to get better. Peace.